Vygotsky believed that children learn new knowledge or complete the task that they can't complete before always collectively and interpersonally happens with the companion of a more capable person. However, it's not enough to say that one maintains new knowledge until they internalize it and eventually use it individually. Private talk, a conversation that a child conducts with himself, by himself, and for himself, is a cultural tool used during the internalization. Vygotsky's theory focuses more on children's development with outside scaffolding. However, adults experience self-learning more with less involvement of teachers. How can this change happen? In my opinion, we can more capably use private talk would be one of the reasons. The sentences in the screen were written down in my diary to self-help when I read a difficult article and was about to give up. I eventually stopped it myself by conducting a private talk, so it will be a good example to discuss how we capably use private talk in self-learning. Visual methodologies used here to gain knowledge of culture and social context beyond the limitation of text part of private talk. Firstly, it is believed that the private talk will finally decrease, but I disagree and would like to be more radical to say that private talk in the written form shows our high level of convergence of thinking and speaking, and satisfy increasing requirements of self-management during self-learning. Here, speaking is a general idea as using language to express that contain written language. Thinking and speaking follow different laws. To transfer to language, thoughts need to be structured and functioned. The requirement that logically and orderly present non-logical jumping thinking are even higher in terms of writing language, which is stricter and more stable than oral expression. Because of this, writing down private talk is more capably demanding. However, trying to master this ability will benefit to individually make plans and solve problems in self-learning, because being logical enables complex functions, and the traceability enables reflection and improvement. Secondly, we can use private talk to guide, regulate, and relieve the self in a more complex process of comprehensive thinking. In the private talk I conducted, I asked myself about my situation and am able to find a particular reason behind the anger and disappointment at first, and then lead the change of mind on my own. It's possibly because people have developed and internalized a general and abstract method which makes private talk can take more place of external guidance to lead the whole complex study processes, comparing with children who can only use the structures given by adults. Finally, the ordination of conversational turns happen in much more rounds and can be more complex than childhood, which is necessary to promote private talk become in-depth and then to achieve effectively in long-term individual planning and problem-solving when learning. It was said that the core of private talk is to listen. In my diary, the role of listening changed several times. The mentee role listens to follow the guidance first, and then the instructor role listens to analyze, and then change again for mentee role to listen the solutions. Mutual listening can interpret how higher function private talk that benefits to self-learning can be achieved from the perspective of psychological structure and procedure. Here, pictures of a sculpture of Confucius in my previous campus, which is popular place for graduation pictures and praying for good grade. They give an insight into how Confucius remains its influences in where I lived and also the private talk I nurtured. No questioning and challenging in private talk might reflect to a quite Confucian way of teacher-student interaction in reality. Meanwhile, the only sentence relating to self-encouragement is added one day later and only deserves a corner space. This ignorance might be because the idea from Confucius that you should discipline yourself. This is all of my visual analysis for private speech in adult learning with the theory from Vygotsky. When conducting this analysis, my critical friends provide lots of help. They advise that I spend too much time on psychological field and the link toward learning was weak. Meanwhile, they share their own recent experiences of private speech, which helps me develop and reflect my assumptions in small scale. With the change of social-cultural environment, studying in a foreign country means cultural kits we developed in original context might not work very well, which makes adoption become necessary. There will be several factors influence on the adoption. I would like to identify 2 questions, respectively focusing on cultures in destination country and the personal motivation for adoption. Thanks for watching.